Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be walking you guys through the process that I followed for setting up this Hydros Minnow doser for my 20-gallon Nano Tank. So the Minnow is a controller. It has two ports there for the command bus, or well, you can hook up the power supply there, or you can daisy chain it off another Hydros controller for the power. And then it has 4 sensor ports as well. So we crack open the box. I've already opened this once, but this is the controller here. So it's got 2 pumps, one on the left, one on the right. This is the second one here. They're color coded. This one is red. The other one is yellow. Then you've got the 2 ports for the command bus. So this will either be your power supply if you're just running this controller, or you can hook it up to another one as part of the collective. Then you've got the sensor ports there. There's 4 of them. Then we've got comes with some tubing and this little measuring container for when you're doing the calibration for the device. So it comes with two rolls of yellow and 2 rolls of red tubing, obviously color coded, so you can kind of keep track of what's what. And then there's obviously the power supply as well. So that's if you were running it on its own as a controller. If you don't have any other Hydros controllers, and this would be, you just plug that in and that's the power supply for it. For mine, I'll be running it daisy chained off of another controller. Now for mine, I'm going to be starting with just dosing this one ESV bionic alkalinity, because that's the one thing that's been dropping on me. It's been kind of low. So that's what I've been dosing manually. And I got this pump so that I can start dosing it through the pump automatically. Make it a little bit more accurate. Now, I got this idea for how I was thinking, how am I going to cook this up? Instead of using like a separate container, I'm just going to use the bottle that this came in. And I got this idea from J&L Aquatics, my local store here. Basically to just drill a little hole there in that cap to feed the tube right into the bottle. And I might get some rigid tubing later on, but for now I'm just gonna drill a hole through there and then just kind of feed that tube right in there, and hopefully it'll kind of sit near the bottom. I just have to keep an eye to make sure that it's there's enough liquid in there, because with the flexible tubing, I'm sure that it'll kind of bend a little bit. So this is the cap. I took it off, just kind of rinse it so we can take a look at it closer. So the idea is to drill a hole into that little part there, that little side part there with the lid open. And then I'll keep that little lid, I'll keep the lid open. That'll allow air to get in. I might tape it up and just kind of put a couple of pinholes in there so it doesn't, I'm not sure if that hole size is a little bit too big. It might evaporate. So, but for now, so I just drilled a hole. I started with a slightly smaller size drill bit because I wanted to keep that tubing in there pretty tight. So it just kind of perfectly fits in there like that. I wouldn't be able to really use the bottle manually anymore with that hole in there, because it'll probably spill. But for dosing, it should be fine. So the hole was a little bit too small. I had to kind of enlarge it just a little bit. I ended up grabbing a different drill bit off camera here, and there we go. So this is the bigger sized hole. I cleaned it up a little bit. Should work, I think. Like I said, I'll probably tape up that top part so that the hole is not so big, so it doesn't evaporate. But I just didn't want it to. I want there to be some air that gets in there so it doesn't create like a vacuum. So that'll just kind of sit like that. I'm gonna use the yellow tubing though, not the red one for this first one, just because I want to be able to see the tubing coming through. Now, as far as the control panel itself, I designed this little prototype still. I just finished gluing it. That glue will disappear once it's finished drying. But it's just a prototype for now. But basically, that'll just kind of mount there, and I've got the 2 holes there on the sides to feed the tubes. And then I set it up so that if I wanted to get a second one, I can also mount a second one. But for now, I'm just going to stick with the single one because I'm only really dosing one thing so far in my tank. So I got these little bolt and nut kind of screws that go in there. And they just like attach on the other side. So I'm not like screwing into the plastic or anything like that. There's just a washer, bolt and nuts on the back. So here I've already attached it. That's been secured. You can see them in the bolts in the back. And the reason why I made it this particular size is because I'm using a little IKEA cabinet stand for my aquarium for now. And this particular size fits exactly into one of the little cubby holes. So one of the tubes is going to go through the back, and my idea is that I'll have the bottle in the front. So one of the tubes, it'll basically attach there, and then it'll feed through to the back where the aquarium is. And then for now, I'm just going to keep the bottle in the front so I can keep an eye on it to see, how much is in there. I'm only dosing a very small amount right now, so that bottle should probably last quite a while. But yeah, the tubing just kind of attaches there. I got some little zap straps later on and put that in there. Keep that tubing in place so it doesn't slip off. And then as far as connecting it to the aquarium, I got this little plastic piece that I can't remember the brand of that one, but it basically just allows me to connect the tubing to it and then hang it off the back of the Nano Tank. And I think I actually have these tubes reversed at this point in the video. I believe the back of the pump is the input and the front is the output. I had to reverse those later on. So that'll basically just hook up there, hang off the back of the aquarium, and then that feeds there. Plugs right into here. And it should work nicely. So here's, once I had it all hooked up and turned on, you can see I got the command bus cable. That one is running through the back, and then I've got the terminator there. So that one actually runs through the back into the other unit, plugs into my other hydros. So the other hydros is actually supplying. Oh, you can see the pump going here. So I already, by this point in the video, I already had this thing hooked up, and I did the manual process of like manually dosing just to fill the line so there's no air or anything like that. And then there's a process that you go through to calibrate. Here's the back of the aquarium, so I just hung that off the back, and it just kind of feeds it in there. So there's a process you go through to calibrate, and then make sure that the manual dosing, like you dose, let's say 5 milliliters, and then you check to make sure that it actually does 5 milliliters. I did a quick little alkalinity check, just to get an idea where I'm at as a starting point. So it's not too bad, 8.2. I want to get that up a little bit higher, but it's been dropping on me, like without doing any dosing at all. It's been dropping to like 7.3, 7.4, somewhere around that range. So I want to kind of keep it a little bit higher. And this is just a quick update on the aquarium itself. All the corals are looking pretty good. Everything's doing fairly well. I had a little bit of an aptasia breakout. It showed up. I dealt with that. I think there's one more little piece that I just noticed when I was recording this video, so I'll have to deal with that. This is my GSP, one of my favorite corals. I got a couple of hammers in the back there. Duncans are really cool too. Another one of my favorite corals in the tank. So cool to see them moving around and grabbing food when you feed them. That one in the back, that's a toadstool I got. That one's pretty cool too. I like watching the little polyps come out and grab food. There's another mushroom I have in the back there. That one's been growing like crazy. These guys here I picked up. These ones are growing pretty nice as well. I'm trying to get all of my levels, like all of my... oh, look, there's my little... what is that? A Hector's goby, I believe. Yeah, there's that toadstool, and there's a little piece of aptasia that I noticed while I was recording the video, so I'm going to have to deal with that. My Kenya tree, I shoved it in the back for now. It used to be so small, it's growing pretty quick now. My hammers are in the back there. Yeah, there's that aptasia at the bottom. Can't really see it in this part of the video. I think I show it later. Another nice little coral I picked up a while ago. Trouble focusing with the camera on this one. There's the hammers again. I also have a little pistol shrimp that he's built a little cave here underneath. I try to record it, but he's hiding. But he lives in that little cave. He pulled all that sand out of there, and he built himself a cave with. I got a little goby in there. The two of them hang out in that cave. So I'm hoping once I get the parameters a little bit more stabilized, the corals will do a little bit better. But for now, I think the only thing I need to dose is the alkalinity and maybe a little bit of magnesium. There's the aptasia that I was talking about. So that'll be my next project to deal with that little... there used to be a lot more. I used that product, F Aptasia, and it worked really well. So that it's been gone for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, and I just noticed that little part. So I got to do another treatment. That's a little... pajama cardinal that I picked up just a couple of days ago. Added him to the tank. He's still shy. He's kind of hiding. That's about it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know.